best.
But even Lee could be outwitted at his own game.
And Francis Lee is going to be booked for that. And he's suggesting absolutely graphically that it was a dive.
And in one of his final games after Lee had signed for Derby County, Leeds veteran Norman Hunter decided enough was enough.
He did this to me at Derby, got a penalty, and I wasn't very happy. That punch-up with Francis and myself is something that I totally regret doing. If I could wipe a few things out of whatever I've done, I'd wipe that one away.
He punched me on the field and I should have gone down. I didn't. I stood my ground and stood up. You know, if I'd have gone down, he'd have got sent off, I wouldn't have got sent off.
Franny and Norman Hunter were walking off the pitch, probably about 10 yards apart. I sensed something's going to happen here. I just sensed it.
And walking off, there was an exchange of verbals and the red mist descended.
That was two very hard guys. They wanted to continue the fight. Well, Franny did anyway, you know.
Franny was a solid, strong little guy. And Norman was always a bean pool, you know, there was nothing on Norman. I mean, I would have backed Franny to win the fight.
For his pioneering gymnastic work, Francis Lee is our perfect 10. As the rules of football have evolved, parts of the game which were once commonplace have disappeared. Shoulder charging the keeper was a legitimate tactic in the 1950s. In the 60s and 70s, the scything tackle from behind still formed part of the defender's armoury. Our next bad boy would have had to rebuild his game from scratch to play in modern-day football. It was said if he was in a good mood, he'd put iodine on his studs. For 20 years from his Chelsea debut in 1962, he traumatised opposing forwards. He's Ron Chopper Harris.
Every side had a similar type of player to what I was, that won the ball in the tackle, put some stick about, most probably put the fear of Christ up 90% of the forwards, and you know, it went on from there. Like
when Chopper tackled you, it was like a haystack falling on top of you. When you looked up, oh my God, the sky's falling in again.
Well, I don't think there's any tough characters around today. You know, they're all pussyfoot.
It was drawn up to Chelsea when Harris brings St. John down.
He was an animal. He really was. I mean, fantastic player to have on your side. I mean, God, Jesus, he was so hard.
And he sent him off the field.
He used to kick people, you know. And not many people liked playing against Ronnie because he was a good man-to-man mark, you know, and he just took the lot when the ball arrived, you know. If you were in the way, it didn't matter. He just walloped you, you know.
Harris really showing why he's got a hard man.
See, he was about as popular as Adolf Eichmann.
I didn't think he was a dirty player. He was hard, quick, and you would give him a job to do and he would do it to the letter.
Tom was a terrific motivator of players. I would have done anything for the fella because he'd given me my chance, and he was the fella that said to me, look, if it moves, kick it. And I think I'd done that for 20 odd years. I wasn't a cheat, I wasn't a spiv. I served under, 7, 8 managers at Chelsea, and I was brought up to do one thing, always wanted to be a winner.
A single nasty Harris tackle could turn a game. In the epic FA Cup final replay of 1970, Leeds United were favourites to beat Chelsea. Harris's job was to stop Leeds' danger man Eddie Gray, whatever it took. What followed has made this match infamous as the most violent FA Cup final in history.
The incident early doors was not nice.
To the TV audience, the camera's wide shot of Harris's contact with the back of Gray's knee looked innocuous. But the Leeds players knew the grievous damage he'd done.
First time Eddie got the ball, he went choom, past him. Next time he got the ball, Eddie knocked it inside and he whack. And he hit him.
It was a terrible tackle. I mean, he never intended to play the ball.
And here's Gray getting treatment again, thanks in no small measure to the work of Ron Harris.
I suppose I was lucky to stay on the field, but you You know, I think he limped for the rest of the game anyway, so.
I just thought the referee made a mistake. Maybe he should have been done, but that was not our mistake, that was the referee's mistake.
This game is one that could just teeter over the edge. Here's Peter Osgood being pursued by Cooper and then beaten by, oh my goodness, by Jack Sharford.
That's what started it. And once you got that going and the referee doesn't take positive action, then the whole thing's blown out of all proportion.
Oh, Bremner getting involved again, and Hutchinson too, and Bremner getting involved once more.
People, you know, just accepted it. They got up, dusted themselves down, and got on with the job.
Oh, my goodness, the feet. I think it was McCready there. And that had to be dangerous play, yes.
We had a battle. It was, you know, let's be fair, one of the referees to this day says that if he was assessing the game today, a referee now, he said there'd be 20 bookings and 6 sending-offs. Well, I think he's being very generous because I think a few more could have gone.
Knocked on again towards David Webb! And Chelsea are in the lead!
People say that David Webb won the cup for Chelsea. I think I was 90% won the cup for Chelsea that night with the tackle I done on Eddie Gray.
The man who won the FA Cup with a single blatant chop, Ron Harris, completes the case for the defence. Last in our Bad Boys 11 is a Scot whose exploits are only preserved in black and white, but whose tackling was as lurid as any modern player. He's a 60s Tottenham legend who could mix it with the best.
The great thing about the older players was that they didn't even want to show they'd been hurt if they were tackled. Dave Mackay, if he broke a leg, would get up and stamp it on the ground and make sure it was broken.
His nickname at Hearts was Tiger. He claims he had the heart of a tiger. Rival fans said he played like an animal. Dave Mackay.
People who saw me playing, they said to me, they said, I can't believe how quiet you are. You know, I think they think I'm going, oh yeah, what are you, you know, all that.
Hart's right half, Mackay comes to the rescue.
As soon as I go on the pitch, I seem to be a different, like a Jekyll and Hyde. When I go on the pitch, everything, I've got to win.
Dave Mackay saves Spurs bacon at the expense of a corner.
Even in the gymnasium, scuffles every day. Most of them were with me, because when I get in the gym, I've got to win.
For a wholehearted battler like Mackay, injury came with the territory.
Still no goals after 67 minutes, and then Mackay scores with a blockbuster.
Noel Cantwell and I were both going for the same ball. I've just put my foot on the ball, kicked it.
Now tragedy for Spurs. In collision with Cantwell, Mackay breaks his leg.
And I've been caught here, and it just snapped. It wasn't a leg break, it was smashed.
In this game, the crowd will see no more of the Iron Man.
The toe, the boot, was nearly touching my knee. And I thought if I take my tie up, you had tie-ups in these, I think if I take that off, that bottom half is just going to fall away.
Mackay was out for almost 2 years. His comeback was against Leeds, captained by equally fiery Scot Billy Bremner.
It was a throw-in, played it up to Billy, and I'm right behind him, pushed him, he fell over, he got up, came round behind me. The nearest one's the right foot. He missed that one, and he's come and kicked me on the left. That's the one that had been broken twice.
So Javon, you little twerp. And the referee was sort of go, put him down, Dave, you know.
Just all of a sudden, I could have lifted anybody at that particular time because I was so incensed by the way that it was done. So obviously it didn't kick me hard enough to break it, thank goodness.
Both of them would have got sent off in a modern day game. Just for doing that.
A gentleman off the pitch and a fighter on it, Iron Man Dave Mackay completes our all-time hard men side. So, were players harder in the old days? No, they were just playing to a totally different rulebook. Have they become more cynical? Apparently not. But today's bad boys play in a constant media spotlight. Football is big business and they are massive stars. From Mackay to Souness to Keane, there's a direct line of succession. Skillful, determined, hard men. Today, Keane thrives despite 40 years of rule changes. Deplored by the tabloids, he's adored by his fans. We're awarding the captaincy of our hard men 11 to Roy Keane, living, snarling proof that there will always be a place for football's bad boys.